All right, so we're going to go over question number 13, where you might not see it on the math section of the test. You might even see it on the science section of the test. So it sets it up by saying density is mass divided by volume, okay, which you've done in the past, all right? So we have the mass, which is 7.0 times 10 to the 24th, and then we have the volume, which is 3.5 times 10 to the 12th. They're telling us what to do, mass over volume. So let's go ahead right next to it and put 7.0 times 10 to the 24th over, now what was our mass again? 3.5 times 10 to the 12th. Okay? All right, now what we do is we go through and divide 7.0 divided by 3.5. Could you punch that into your calculator? Ellen dear? 2. Now, division's cousin is subtraction, so it's 2 times 10 to the 12th. Is that one of our choices?
Yes.
Yes?
Yes, it's B. You did that one already?
I did like the 4 questions.
Did a different way? What way did you do it?
Hold on. I have to figure myself out here because I did this.
Did it a couple days ago, right? Okay.
He done winged it.
All right. Well, that's okay. We want to hit as many problems as possible. I can't think of another way to do it, but you know, if you come up with it, that's fine. Okay. All right. Now, Jal, I need you to find question number 16. It's got a trapezoid. Question number 16. Don't look at this. Look up at this screen, Jal, when you do it, and move it all the way up. Okay. All right, this is a really interesting question, very interesting question. It says an isosceles triangle, trapezoid, ABCD is shown. It is rotated to create a new trapezoid. And then they're asking us all these gobbledygook questions, okay? So here's what I'd like to point out to you. Here's what I'd like to point out. Number 1, there are these curls in the corner. We've done that in digits a lot, but I have never seen these little tick marks like this. Now what do you think, because those two match, what does that mean? They're both the same angle, they're both congruent. How many little tick marks does this guy have?
2.
2. How about this one? 2. So what could we say about B and C?
They're the same.
They're the same. Mrs. Belfrom, have you ever seen those little tick marks in there before like that?
I have not.
Have you seen it a different way? I've seen it like this. I've seen, let's say this is a scalene triangle. I've seen 1 curl, I've seen 2 curls, and then I've seen 3. Have you seen it like that? And because those curls aren't the same, that means none of those angles are congruent. So you have to get used to it. They might throw you a new set of symbols.
Ms. Tallman, you
Yes.
know, one of the things that was hard for me when we went to online testing is how do I see these shapes when they're asking me to move it? Anybody think of a great way to do that? How can you translate, flip, rotate something that's on a screen? What can you do? Yes, sir?
Turn your computer.
Turn your computer.
Yes, good job.
It is not against the rules. It is not wrong. It's not bad. You're not doing anything wrong from picking that screen up and rotating the screen. How many people have to see stuff to learn stuff?
Boy, I do.
I do too. I'm what they call a visual learner.
Me too.
So I cannot stare at the screen and move it in my brain. I physically have to take it and move it. So when you're working on these today, I want you to take this paper, if you're like that, move the paper so that you get in your brain, am I flipping it going right? Am I going left? Am I going 180 degrees? How many times do you have to turn it to see where those new angles are supposed to be? that is a great strategy when you're trying to do these reflections and rotations and translations, okay?
And we're actually, when we get to question number 20, what is that number, 21, 22, we'll actually do that. Okay, but here's the part, Mrs. Belfrom, is kind of interesting. They don't even tell us how much they're rotating it. Oh my goodness. So we're going to have to start a different strategy, all right? Here's what I suggest that we do, and I've done this with you a lot. I first of all list the letters A, B, C, D, and because I'm writing, you should be writing. And it's exactly in that order, A, B, C, D. And we are being told that they're going to rotate it to give us E, F, G, and H. Now, why is that important? I'll show you in a minute. It's actually, this is pretty cool how this works. Now, I'm going to put little letters aside of here. So A corresponds to E. I'm going to put a little E with my A. B corresponds to F. I'm going to put an F with my B. C corresponds to G. D corresponds to H. Okay? Now, let's see what in the world we're talking about. Okay? First of all, I'm having a hard time seeing this. This is very blurry, so you're going to have to help me. This is saying line segment EF is parallel to line segment HG. Is that true? EF
No.
parallel to HG. No. Why not? What will happen if I continue those lines? They're going to meet. So cross that out. That's how it's a good strategy in using multiple choice questions. How about A is parallel to F? I'm sorry, congruent. A is congruent to F. No, not at all. Cross that out. How about angle B is congruent to angle H?
No.
Do you see where B is? How many tick marks does B have? Two. How about H? How many tick marks does it have? One. So they're not congruent. Didn't writing those letters really help us? Okay, now what about this last one? Line segment FG is parallel to line segment EH. Is that true?
Yes.
Yes. Now, that took us what? Maybe 2 minutes, 3 minutes, okay? So think about that. On the test today, there were 27 questions. Did you spend at least, if that's 2, did you spend about an hour on that test today?
Yes.
Okay, I had someone finish very quickly, very quickly. All right? Now, some of them might have been just go-to answers. But this one, a seemingly easy multiple choice question, turned out to be a little bit more heavy duty. Okay, let's go to number, let's go to number 19. So, Jal, that's over that way. And can you bring it up for me, please? Nice, nice, nice. Jal, you're making me dizzy. Okay, all right, stop. Okay, all right, here we go. Here's a big clue of the day. What is the distance between 1,3 and 13,8 on the coordinate plane? What were you given today in the test? Scrap paper that looked like what? Scrap paper. That might be a very big clue that you're supposed to use a coordinate plane. I'm going to actually do this problem in 2 different ways. I'd like you to join with me. I'm going to make a little baby coordinate plane right here. Let's pretend I had the graph paper in front of me. I'm going to graph 1, 3. So I'm going to go the right 1, up 3, just ballpark it. Doesn't have to be exact. And 13, 8. So that means I'm going to go the right 13, up 8. I'm going to pretend it's about right there. They're asking us for the distance between these 2 points. That is a slanted line. What's a fancy schmancy way of saying a slanted line? Hypotenuse, because here's what we're doing. We are creating a right triangle. And when you have created a right triangle, you can use the Pythagorean theorem. And the Pythagorean theorem, are we on here with those dots? The Pythagorean theorem says a squared plus b squared equals c squared. So you could count the number of squares here, you could count the number of squares here, and find the hypotenuse. I'm going to show you a different way that some of you that think algebraically will remember. What's the distance between 1 and 13? 12. Right, 12 squared. What's the distance between 3 and 8? 5. Plus 5 squared equals c squared. Now, you will note that for my room, when we normally have a number line to count that distance, okay, we don't have that. So what could you do? You could make a number line. I hope that you do make a number line so that you could actually use it. Now let's do this rather quickly so that we can get through all of these problems. 144 plus 25 equals c squared. 144, Joe, plus 25 is 169. We're going to square root the whole thing, and we're going to get 13 equals c. So the distance between those 2 points is 13.
And this is a question type that we would be able to use a calculator on, correct?
We're very proud of ourselves because we have the square root of 169 memorized, don't
Yes.
we? That number has come up quite a bit. And this class they were good about memorizing those. All right, y'all, we're going to move to the one below it. This problem should look very familiar because it was actually on one of our tests. Okay? It's the Darren and his friend question. All right, here's the story. Darren and his friend are planning to go on vacation. So they're going to put some money in the bank and they're going to save a little bit each week until they can go on vacation. So let's make 2 equations. We have an equation for Darren and we have an equation for his friend. How much is Darren starting off with? How much is Darren starting off with? Right, so I'm going to write y equals 120. Now let's keep going. And then how much is he putting in the bank each week? Ellen? $40. So I'm going to put 120 plus 40x. Looks like y equals mx plus b to me. All right, now the friend. How much did the friend start off with? 120. Now here's the kicker. He is saving at a faster, higher rate per week. How much is he saving per week? What's faster than 40? 41. 41. 100. 50. Okay, you can choose whatever you want. 120, let's make it 50x. While Darren is saving $40 a week, his friend is saving $50 per week. Do you remember this question on the test?
Yes.
Yes, good, 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 good. Okay, all right, let's see where we are. How long are you with me today? 154? All right, what do you think? Oh, let's do the one that Mrs. Belfrom was talking about. One with the 2 squares. What number is that? 22. All right, this is a really good question. We have these 2 quadrilaterals, And they're saying that I'm going from this guy to this guy by using two transformations. Okay? Is it rotation dilation, dilation reflection, dilation translation, reflection translation? Well, what do you notice, boom, right away about these two squares?
They're different.
They're different. So what is one of the transformations going to be? Dilation. Which one doesn't have a dilation? D. So let's get rid of that.
Wait.
Now that's okay. That's okay, Jacob. A, B, and C both have dilation. So now we got to figure out which one is it. Go to the old method of going. Take the JKLM and match it with the WXYZ. So do that over here in this corner. JKLM. It matches up exactly with WXYZ. So that means J corresponds to W. But where does J start out? J starts out in the top left. Its corresponding point is where? Top right. Ooh, what could I do there? Turn? I don't know. Could I, if I turn it, it's not all going to match up. So what's it going to be? Reflect. Reflect over the what, by the way? Good job.
Thank you.
So it's what? It's dilation and reflection. Okay? That tip that Mrs. Belfrom gave you as far as the rotations go, because we memorize those rules, but you know, in a test situation, sometimes you go blank. So if you just take it and rotate it clockwise, what was the other way? Counterclockwise. That'll give you a hint. All right? Let's try one more. It's that ugly one, Jarl. It's got a bunch of, it's number 25. This also was on your test. Here's the key. The key is congruent. What does congruent mean? Come on, guys. Congruent. Control? Equal. Okay? So I want CDE to be equal to C prime, D prime, E prime. Okay? Now, come on over here. This is where we originally learned about this. Don't write this down. If I take a square and I slide it, is the new square the same size? Yes. If I take a square and I rotate it, is the new square the same size? Yes. What's the other one? Reflect. If I take this square and reflect it,
Yes.
it's the same. What's the one that changes it? Dilation. Well, if this is saying I need congruent shapes, who can I get rid of? Dilation. So I can get rid of this first one. What else can I get rid of? Second one. Where else? Fourth one. We good?
Yeah, we could.
Really? Okay, let's find one more to do and we are finished for today.
Okay.
20.
I could get 20.
Oh, 20 is a good one. Jal, can you do 20?
Wait.
Come over a little bit more. Now, I can't read these numbers, so you're going to have to help me. This is a really good question. Okay, I'm going to rewrite up here for myself. 3 to the second, what is it? Cubed times 3 to the 6th over 3 to the 4th. Now, I know that some of you know when you raise a power to a power, you multiply it. But a motto in this room all year has been, when in doubt, write it out. Okay? So let's go ahead and do that. We're going to write 3 squared 3 times. 3 to the second times 3 to the second times 3 to the second. We're going to bring over that 3 to the 6th underneath is 3 to the 4th. So on top, we get 3 to the 2, 4, 6, what? 12 over 3 to the 4th. Division's cousin is subtraction, so this is 3 to the 8th. 8th, right? Now, I don't know, what is this one? 3 to the 3rd? I can't see it. Okay, how about this? What's the second one? 3 to 7? No. What's this guy?
3 to 8.
So that works. What's this guy?
3 to 12 over 3 to the 4th.
Okay. When in doubt, write it out. Okay? Did you have your little ticket? You use scrap paper all over the place, didn't you?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay? All right, now. We need to do this rapidly. We need you to come up and get enough for your table. Record time.
I got it. I got it. I got it.
I believe we only have 2 minutes, and I want to do a couple of these with you. Did you hit the little mouse on the Okay.